Hey folks, my name's Jack, welcome to Peach Guitars. In today's video, we're going to take a deeper dive into Gibson USA Les Pauls. It's obviously the hallmark of Gibson. The Les Paul is probably the most popular model that they make and have made for the last nigh on 70 years. So it's very important that we can convey to you the sheer breadth of availability of these guitars just within the USA pocket alone. Obviously you have Epiphone, and of course you have Gibson Custom above this point, but with Gibson USA, we're so lucky to carry such a wide inventory of these guitars, and sometimes it's lost, I think, on perhaps the customer who's looking to buy a guitar, just how many options there are available to you in terms of the weights, the finishes, the quality of the tops on these guitars, and of course the way they sound. And that's why we try and give as much of this information across to you as possible. And we're going to try and further that in today's video. So myself and John are going to take to the Gibson stage out in the Peach Saloon, and we're going to explore a few different models and touch on a few different examples of those models to show you the variety that we have in stock. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Alright folks, so as I mentioned, we're out here on the Gibson stage in the saloon, and there's quite a number of extra guitars that we've just added to what you will have just seen. The main thing that we want to talk through is, as I mentioned, the sheer breadth available in the Gibson USA lineup. It's not just a Les Paul standard anymore. It's so easy to overlook the fact that all of these different options are available, but a customer can just come along on the website and pick exactly what they're looking for in terms of how much flame they want or what kind of weight they want. And that's something that's always been really important to you to put across.
Big time, because especially with Gibson, probably more than any other brand, is one, the weight difference is so different between all the different models. So it's quite a complex range now, the Gibson range. I say complex, it's just a full range. I mean, everything that they're making now is there for a reason. But after you've finally got to the point of where you've decided which model that you want, we then complicate things by adding loads of other nice options, which are really good for the end user, because a lot of our competitors will get a guitar like this in stock, this lovely ocean blue Les Paul standard that we've got on offer for £1,999 at the moment, and just put a stock photo. So they don't even bother to take a photo themselves and then sell 10 from it. They'll use the one that Gibson has provided. But as you can see here,
you can see straight away why that's important.
Why that is important, because let's just move this one out of the way here, and then you grab the one on the right. Right, and as we know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
So if you ordered...
That's what my mum tells me anyway.
Well, very nice, very nice. And you've got a face only a mother could love. Is that what you're saying? So I've got off topic now.
Sorry,
that's fine. That's fine.
The point being,
right. So if you order one of these nice Les Paul standards from any other retailer, you could get this, or you could get this. I mean, like I said, some people absolutely love the plain top guitars, and this has got some nice kind of mineral marks in there as well.
Yeah.
A nice weight to it, fairly darkish sort of fingerboard, but that one is much more stripy and much more flamed, isn't it?
And weight-wise as well, I bet that's quite a bit lighter than
Yeah.
this one, I would say.
So basically, every time you buy a guitar from us that's over £300, it will be photographed on the website. It will have the weight on there as well. And of course, our guys do fantastic setups and can, you know, get everything as playing at its absolute optimum before it goes out the door. And we can also accommodate kind of requests on setup and stuff like that. But if you're looking at this and probably just thinking, oh, you know, like I've seen it for sale on this website for 50 quid less or whatever, this is the real reason, personally. You know, you can get on the phone to one of our sales guys and they'll go through all the different examples. You know, if there's a specific kind of top that you want or a specific sort of weight, we're happy to do all the work for you. We can go through and look through the stock and we can check all the stuff out. But, you know, like I said, if you bought, you know, a guitar like this from big box retailer, you're going to get something like this, or you might get something completely plain, which, like I say, is the reason why we list all these different ones as well, and why we bother going to the extra effort of photographing everything individually. And it is an extra effort. I could save, you know, being brutally honest, I could save the business thousands of pounds, pay less in all these other things that we have to pay for as an employer, but it's so much more advantageous for us, and it's just great for the customer that you can come in and you can find whatever the perfect top is or the perfect weight is of the guitar and just get your dream guitar. We don't want to be the cheapest all the time, we want to be the best. And if you want to be the best, sometimes you've got to have some cojones, basically, to just be a little bit more expensive, but give people the best service, which is really what we want to do.
So you alluded to price a little bit there.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason we wanted to focus on these guitars today, is because Gibson pricing is kind of a complicated thing to understand because there's such a range there, where you've got Epiphone below and you've got custom above. The USA now feels like it's kind of settled into where it should be, I think. And all of these guitars are actually on a bit of a deal right now, I believe.
Well, right now, I mean, this is some long form content. Les Paul standards are never going to go away. You know, we've got basically all of these guitars are all Les Paul standard models. And if I was buying a guitar right now and wanted a Les Paul standard, I think the best thing you could do would be either look at one of these ocean blue ones like this. I think they're absolutely fantastic. And like we said earlier, they're on offer just a shade under £2,000. That's UK sterling, including VAT. Or I absolutely love these Les Paul standard faded models. I think you've got, where's the 50s? No, 60, that's the 50s one. Jack, you grab that 60s one there. So these are, to all intents and purposes, a really nice Les Paul standard, but in a satin nitro finish.
Yep.
So it's a cool guitar that you can really make your own as well, because it's the sort of guitar that will kind of wear in quite quickly. The back of the neck gets its own signature feel from you playing the guitar as well. And, you know, people almost want guitars these days to be kind of a relic ready type sort of finish.
Well, it's such a subjective thing. And that's ties into what we started by saying, where that's why this stuff is all important. Some players love a heavy guitar, other players can't stand it. There is no ultimate solution to the perfect Les Paul.
No.
And so just pigeonholing in your mind like a 50s standard Les Paul or a 60s standard Les Paul, there's a lot more choice beyond that and a lot more to consider. And that's why it's so important to put this across. Exactly. Even down to the basic stuff like the satin versus gloss finish. As a player, you're going to find instantly which one you prefer.
Yeah, I just think, I mentioned those two because value for money wise, you know, even when I started out 20 odd years ago, Les Paul standards were still £2,000-ish. You used to be able to get a few in some nasty colours for about 1,500 quid, but we're talking like 20 odd years later, and you can still buy a guitar like this for just under £2,000, and then the same with those ocean blue ones. Everything has got so expensive. Guitars, everything outside of our industry, we're all feeling the pinch, and everyone has seen the cost of living going up, and the cost of luxury goods have got more and more expensive, but somehow we've still managed to get some more killer guitars at this sort of price point.
But I like that the consistency is back too, because I played, I think, these 5 guitars that we've got at the front today, which you're going to hear throughout the course of this video, just little clips on each one, and they all just sounded like great Les Pauls, and not perhaps some of the stereotypical sounds that we might have in our head. They can do a lot. They sound great clean.
There'll be as sorry to interrupt, there'll be as much like variation probably if you was trying this one versus an ocean blue. There'll actually be just as much variation between the same guitars because of the weights. Really, that is the biggest.
But it's not to the detriment of any of them. None sound bad and none sound
exactly
objectively better. It's just they're different flavours.
Yeah, I know a lot of the heavier rock guys like a really heavier Les Paul because of the extra low end and the sustain and stuff, and it's just personal preference. But this is why we go to the extra effort of weighing everything and taking the pictures and stuff as well. So it's impossible for us to be able to demo every single guitar that we have in stock, but hopefully
try as we might.
Hopefully with the stuff that Jack's done today, you get a good idea of the flavours of the different tones that even across 5 guitars essentially that you've demoed, they're the same guitar, but these slight subtle differences that you can hear. So we really, at the core of all of this, we just really want to be able to help you find, the perfect looking, playing and sounding guitar. So this is the Les Paul standard 60s model in unburst. So ever since, when did the original collection come back?
I reckon 4 or 5 years ago, maybe?
No, I think it's maybe even longer than that now.
Was it?
But since then, it was when Cesar came on board and they had JC for a while.
They streamlined it all.
They streamlined everything back to this core collection of guitars. And this is from the original collection. The unburst model, so it's like a faded lemon type sort of thing, has consistently been our best-selling guitar in the range. And I just thought, when this one came in the other day, I've seen hundreds of these guitars, but this particular one I just thought was a real looker.
It is pretty nice, because some of them can be a little more unassuming, maybe. Not that they look bad, but you would look at that and maybe you wouldn't necessarily know what that finish is because this unburst thing was new for the original collection, I believe.
That's right,
But then when you see it in the context of with more flame, you can see why these things reference the 50s and 60s guitars as they do, because the fact that there's this much variety just in the top.
It's massive. It's massive, and over the course of time, if you end up paying a smidge more, but you get a guitar that ticks all the boxes with the weight, the look, over the course of owning a guitar for 20, 25 years, is it worth paying that little bit more? We are as competitive as possible at all times, but, our first priority is not forgetting about what we do well and why customers come to us, with the photos of the tops, the setups and all the other stuff. And we often run 0% finance deals on a lot of these guitars as well, which I think we are running at the moment. If anybody's watching this in 2 years' time and
it's all on the website,
and they've still managed to get to this part of the video, it might not be running, but certainly as of January 2026. Am I correct? Is that
You
what
are
it
correct.
is? Yeah,
That's
I'll
where
check
we
my
are.
watch. Yeah, we have got some interest-free finance deals available, so that's just for UK customers. But it's just another thing: the interest-free, the setups, the photos, the weights. You know, hopefully I've convinced you to buy one from us. I think I want one.
All right, folks, so I hope that that's cleared up maybe some of the questions that you had. As always, if you want to find out even more information about any of the products that we stock and the way we do things, you can head over to the website, which will be linked down below, and there you'll be able to find out the listing for your favorite guitar that you may have seen today, and indeed identify every single serial number that we have in stock and pick out the one that works best for you. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to leave a like, comment down below with your thoughts, hit subscribe if you want to see more from us in the future, and I hope to see you again very soon. Take care.